Your morning routine sucks. I said it. There you go. And I'm going to use human design to help you understand why that is and what you can do no matter what energy type you are in your human design to switch it up and create an incredible start in the morning. Let's break it down. Welcome to the Human Design Portal, your safe space to decondition and expand so that you can attract the right people, opportunities, and chances. If you're new here, my name is Maika Gabriela, and I'm a human design leader, a deconditioning expert, and the founder of the Transformational Human Design Certification. And I have supported hundreds and hundreds of souls that have been frustrated and bitter and angry at their morning routine, pulling more energy from them and then actually helping them achieve the best life and the best version of self. So in this video, I'm going to teach you what you have to look at in your human design chart to understand what the best morning routine is for you to get a head jump start in your day. Let's dive deep. Okay, so here's the thing. We are constantly consuming all of this information on the internet about my morning routine. If I see another girl putting her lemon in the water while they're making the bed and calling this a morning routine, I am going to propel myself off the cliffs. No, I'm not going to do that. But I think it's really interesting because it is so hard in this day and age to be able to actually listen to our own body and what it needs, our individual cells, and our unique way of processing life and digesting life and moving through life when we are constantly bombarded by these experts and authorities telling us what's right for us. And again, the beautiful thing about human design is that it's called really this process of dehomogenization, which is all about understanding that what worked for you won't necessarily work for me. And if you're anything like me and you've ever tried somebody's like 20-day boot camp to get abs and you didn't get those abs, it's probably because you have a different metabolism, a different body weight, a different body shape, different muscle proportion, all of the things, right? And it's the same for the morning routine. Just because we're watching videos, which is like how to be super productive in the morning, might not work for you. And you know why it might not work for you? Because you're not designed to work like that. You are an absolutely beautiful, sparkling individual who has come here to create your own path and your own dream perfect life. And that version, and the only person that knows how to get to that version is you, your beautiful heart, and your amazing soul. And so I'm going to help you using human design and what to look out for so you can start analyzing and understanding how you can hack the system, stop listening to outside voices, and actually connect to your own truth. Let's dig into it. So the reason this video is going to work for absolutely every energy type in your human design is because what we're going to look at is not particularly focused on your energy type. What we're actually going to look at is ka-ching, these beautiful arrows, okay? I hope my editing team will put in the beautiful arrows here. So these arrows in human design are called the variables. And so what you will see is that these variables, they all signify an aspect of your design and how you're meant to move through life. And today we're going to look at the first, bear with me because I'm horrible with left and right. The first top left arrow, ka-ching, has a significance to your morning routine or actually any routine, because some of y'all not destined and not made to have a routine, okay? This does not mean that not being able to stick to a routine, you won't be able to achieve your dreams and your goals and your aspirations. On the contrary, it actually means that by trying to force yourself to fit into the frame of what experts are telling you the only way it is to achieve certain things is actually draining you and pulling you away from your life's path and purpose. So let's look at these arrows in a more detailed way. So there's going to be two options that you'll have with this arrow. So the first top left arrow pointing to the left means that you have a right variable, means that you're somebody who's going to thrive in consistency, means that you actually really enjoy routine, that there is a safeness for it. This also means that you have what we call an active brain. An active brain is somebody who is an overthinker. So if your girlfriends are like, stop overthinking, girl, then you're like, no, but I can't. You don't have to stop overthinking. It's one of your gifts to overthink. But you have to be aware of the thoughts that you're thinking, the quality of what you're using that overthinking to think about. And so what happens is that because your mind, your brain is so active, you're burning so many calories just because of thinking. And then your brain doesn't have a capacity to also be, spontaneous and where am I going to eat? And what time will I have lunch? And like all of these unpredictable kind of like variables in your design or in your everyday are going to steal energy from your mind power that you actually need to get shit done and to overthink about what you're meant to be overthinking. And so for somebody who has that arrow pointing to the left, routine and consistency are great. You are the kind of person who, yes, will be able to do whatever 3-day cleanse. Maybe both of you can do a 3-day cleanse. If you have that top left arrow pointing to the left, you're one of those people who are going to thrive on like a 40-day Kundalini yoga experience. You're the kind of person who will, this is what I do, no matter where I travel, I will find the coffee place I feel comfortable with. I will buy my groceries at the same place. I will have that very clear ABC kind of routine. No matter where I go, no matter where I'm traveling, I will try to find my routine. I will wake up at similar time. I will go to the gym. I will have my breakfast and my lunch at a certain hour. This kind of helps me feel grounded. This kind of helps me feel safe. This gives my other mind the capacity to overthink about the shit that I want to think about and not waste my time on these little minutiae details that are actually draining me. So when I see stick to this morning routine, I can stick to a morning routine. I can wake up every day, 5 a.m., do my meditation, then go to the gym, then, work and do whatever I do. But that is because I have that arrow pointing to the left. If you have the arrow pointing to the other direction, to the right, then you have a completely opposite way of moving through life, which is not as accepted or not as talked about and not as seen and shared as it should be. And I'm going to explain why that is and what the difference is. Okay, so here's the thing, right? The arrow that is pointing towards the left is kind of like an old paradigm, is what we've learned in the last 400 years about structure and discipline and how we're able to achieve things. This is how the societal structure is built. This is how it's okay to do things. This is how it's always been done. This is the way to do. All of the books that you've ever read about how to become a millionaire are kind of written in a way that is only made for those who have, the left angle. The left inclination of the arrows. So they have the left variables that are pointing to the left. And so in the new paradigm, which is something that will come in 2027, when we have this shift of paradigm, I have a whole video on the new paradigm that we will link somewhere so you can go watch it if you haven't heard about it. But in the new paradigm, things are shifting. Consciousness is shifting. And so what will happen is that there will be way more possibilities available to those of you who actually have the top left arrow pointing to the right. Is a whole new way of living, is a whole new way of perceiving things, is a whole way of moving through life. And because there's so much conditioning around it and because there's so much shame around it, so many of you that have that top arrow pointing to the right are trying to fit yourself into the mold of what the shoulds and the musts and how society is telling you is the only way. So if you're here and you're listening to this because you have that top left arrow pointing to the right, let's get into what that means for you. So this has been one of the most incredible things to see in session, because the way my client's body changes in composition when they hear this, it's like a mind-blowing factor. So let me know in the comments how you feel about yourself and hearing what I'm about to share. If you're somebody who has the top left arrow pointing to the right, you're not meant to be consistent and you're not meant to have a routine. What does that mean? So this is what happens. Because you're meant to move through life in a more spontaneous, more intuitive way, it is actually detrimental to your capacity to achieve the right things and get onto the path to your purpose if you try to force yourself into having a routine. You're somebody who's really meant to do things in a way that feels right for you. You're somebody who one day wakes up at 7 a.m. and the next wakes up at 12 a.m. And if you have lunch at 4 p.m. one day and at 12 a.m. the other day, it doesn't matter. You need to move within that freedom. The way that I look at the variables, it's really that they're the poster signs that are allowing you to be at the right place at the right time. And so what happens is that we have all of this conditioning on what is right and the only way to achieve things. But you have a passive brain. You cannot take in so much information. You're not constantly thinking. So the way that you think is in a different capacity. And so you're really here to move with what your body is telling you. You're here to be more spontaneous, to be more open, to be less rigid, less structured. And so the correct way for you to do things is not trying to do every day the same, every hour the same, every time. That is going to steal and suck your energy and your joy. So you're actually somebody for whom routine is detrimental. You're not here to create a routine, which is what most of the authorities and gurus are telling you on the internet, specifically on this platform, right? So it's really important for you to acknowledge that it will be so much better for your soul, for your body to do things the way you feel them instead of trying to force a routine or a certain kind of consistency into your life. You are not meant for consistency. That does not mean that you can't get your dream body or have, a certain success in your career. It's actually the contrary. The moment that you start accepting that consistency and routine are not meant for you, you will have all of this space freed up in your mind and in your body to be guided to the right places at the right time. So instead of being like, every day I'm going to wake up and have my lemon water and do my meditation, blah, 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 you'll be like, oh, I slept in today. And then later I'm going to go to Pilates. And at Pilates, I'm going to meet a cute boy. And then I'm going to whatever, right? Cute boy, cute girl, whatever is you're into. But what I'm saying is like, oh, whatever, you can be like, oh, I'm kind of bored. I feel like I haven't really had lunch, but I'm going to, have a snack at the cafeteria or at the barista place or whatever. And you get their snack and you talk to somebody and suddenly you have a job offer. Like, we do not know the way that this energetic authenticity can play into the complete experience of our life. And so a lot of times, it's like, oh, the shame of, I've fallen out the wagon. I just don't have the consistency. I don't have the capacity. There's something inside you that kind of gets the ick when you hear a routine. And I'm the opposite. And when I've spent time, like if I spent summer vacations with people who are the opposite of me, which is like what I'm describing right now, where your top left arrow is pointing to the right, it's so exhausting to me to never know when we're going to wake up, when we're going to have lunch, and just sitting around and like, are we having lunch now? Are we? It's not even because I'm particularly hungry. It's just because not knowing when something's going to happen absolutely like takes over my mind, and then I don't have time to think about anything. So I want you to really accept and reassess the routines that you're forcing into your life. I want you to look at the conversation you're having with yourself, your negative talk within yourself, the limiting beliefs that you have around, not having a routine or not being able to be consistent, and how that is blocking you from becoming who you want to be, because it's not that way. It's actually you trying to fix yourself and put yourself into that box of every day doing the same thing to have a routine that is draining you and moving you away from who you've come to be. And this is really interesting because I had a client who came to me, 25, biohacking, super young, like healthy guy. And he's like, I suck at spirituality. And I'm like, why do you mean you suck at spirituality? And he said, well, I do a morning routine and then I feel like shit, and I eat every day the same time and my body feels like shit. And I'm like, yeah, that's because you're not meant to thrive on routine. It's actually detrimental to your energetic balance. And so I want you to reassess how you believe the morning routine right now you're trying to stick to is actually not serving you in the way that you have hoped. And listen, the beautiful thing about human design, and this goes for both of you or all of you and all of us, the beauty of human design is that it doesn't mean you can't listen to anybody else. It just means that now you have a tool that helps you understand yourself better in your authentic way of working, and then you can discern the information that you get. So if you want to have a water with lemon because, whatever that's been trending for the last 15 years, then have your water with lemon. But maybe instead of having it every day at 7 a.m., you just have it when you wake up. And it doesn't matter if you have it, one day at 7 a.m. and the other one at 12 p.m. Or if you, whatever it is that you think you have to do, if you see a routine, you're inspired by that routine. Maybe you do the routine for a week and you don't do it for 40 days. Maybe you take what, serves you and then you let go without guilt. And that is going to be so much more supportive than you feeling bad about the fact that you can't stick to that one thing that one influencer told you is the only way to get XYZ result. So with this, I just hope you feel some freedom. You feel some confirmation. You feel some release from the pressure to be a certain way, and really understand that there is nothing in the world that is standing between who you are and where you're right now and where your soul wants you to go. And that everything is open to the possibility of creating the life that you want for yourself. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, share with anybody who's struggling with their morning routine, who feels stuck, burned out, or just thinks they're doing it wrong. Please leave your questions and comments below. You have no idea how much it means to me as a projector to read your feedback, to understand what you're going through. It helps me create better videos the next time and for the ongoing future. So thank you so much for your time, for your attention. I love you so much. Remember, I don't care what anybody says. I love you.